Okay, this is something that you need to know. Women will always test you to see if they can hurt you. Most men are unaware of this. Most men probably don't even see that this is happening when it comes to their day-to-day communication with the woman that they're dating. This is something that your dad probably did not teach you. This is something that your grandpa probably did not teach you. This is something that you probably don't know. So because of that, I'm going to show you an entire end-to-end presentation to make this very easy to understand, because here's what I really think. I think most guys probably could, have a girlfriend, or even, like, let's say they wanted maybe a wife one day or something like that. They probably could obtain that type of relationship if they just knew what to do. But because most guys don't even know that this stuff is going on inside of the communication with the relationship, they don't even see it happening. So that's why I'm about to show you all of this. So stick with me. This video is really going to help you. Also, I built an entire community to help you learn, understand, and master the language of women, so that way your dating life gets a whole lot better. This morning, when I just checked, this is the amount of members that we have right now today. I'll put that up on the screen. It's been amazing. So many guys are improving their dating life, so join us inside of that after today's video is over. Okay, so women are always going to test you to see if they can hurt you. Women will always test to see if they can hurt you, and they will leave you if they can. So I have an entire marker board full of notes, okay? Some of you, this is what's going to happen. You're going to be married, and let's say you're married for a few years, and she calls you at noon and says, yeah, I'm off work at 5. I'm going to be home, and I'll call you right when I get off work. And then it gets to be 5 o'clock. You don't hear from her. And then let's say she goes out with her girlfriends for an hour and goes and gets dinner. And then you say, why didn't you call me? And she goes, oh, I forgot. This is what it's going to look like. You have to not care. You have to not see these things. You have to be oblivious to the entire test. Okay. Or else they will leave you. That's what the tests look like. I have an entire presentation here to show this even more. This is what you have to know. It doesn't matter what type of test it is. It will happen. You will always be tested. Okay? So let's just dive right in. A woman will always test you to see if she can hurt you. Okay? Now, it's in her nature to try to rattle your emotions. You have to know this. It's in her nature. She wants to rattle your emotions to see what you're made of. She's always going to do this. It doesn't matter how good the chemistry is. It doesn't matter how much trust building there was, whatever terms you want to use to tell yourself, oh, now that we've known each other longer, that means all of this stuff that I'm talking about on this marker board is going to go away. It's not going to. A woman will always test you to see if she can hurt you. It's in her nature to try to rattle your emotions. You have to be stronger than your emotions and not give in and get reactive to any of these things. So I put a little note right here, okay? This is a note you want to learn. Write this down if you need to. Put a big star by it, okay? Women really only become obsessed with the men that they're not able to hurt emotionally through either what she says to you or through her actions. So what you have to know is she will also only desire to stay with you only if she knows that you are not hurt emotionally or affected by anything that she does. So she's like, okay, if I don't talk to him, he doesn't care. And then she goes, if I do talk to him, he doesn't care. If I tell him that I'll call him at 5 p.m. and then I don't, he doesn't care. If I tell him that I call him at 5 p.m. and I do call him at 5 p.m., he still doesn't care. She's like, no matter what I do or what I say, she's like, no matter what I throw at this guy, he's just unaffected. This is how you have to be. You have to be completely unaffected. You have to be so about your own goals in life, so about your own mission in life, that you literally don't care really about what anybody else does besides what you're doing. Like, you just can't care. And see, the more you understand this, the more you're going to start to see how people in general, not just the woman that you're dating, but people in general will try and pull your time to get you to care about things that you don't care about. When I look back on different circumstances or situations, the amount of things that I have had to say no to that most people would just automatically say yes or sure or yeah, I'll be there. They would just instantly go. Okay, most people, the way that they live is they instantly just give someone their time. You can't do this, okay? Most things are not that important. Most things are not worth your time. If you're doing something that you find important, it doesn't really matter how many times that other person called you or sent you a text message or claims they need your attention right now, they don't. Okay? So, she knows that you're not hurt emotionally or affected by anything that she does or that she throws your way. So it's just in her nature. What you have to know is deep down, she actually is hoping that you pass these tests, especially if she finds you attractive. Okay? There's a lot of things she might do. So many different things. She might just turn her phone on airplane mode. She might say she'll call you at 5 o'clock and then she doesn't. Maybe we'll see what happens if you're going to get really emotionally reactive if she just doesn't call you for 3 days in a row, just to see what you do. Every single time a guy that she's talking to fails one of these tests and acts like he cares or like he notices, her interest drops. So the reason why I'm telling you this is because a lot of you guys who are probably watching my videos, you are already attractive enough. Meaning you're already probably tall enough, you already probably make enough money, you already probably have your life together enough where you know what you're doing. But the problem is you're not able to spot these things that I'm teaching you. And you're not able to see these things actually play out because you don't have a deep enough understanding of female nature. So, she wants the men, okay, or she wants the man who is most emotionally strong. This is the guy that she wants, the guy who is most emotionally strong. This is hypergamy. Hypergamy works in this guy's favor, okay? So the only way she knows who that is, because it's not like she just automatically knows instantly who the strongest guy is, okay? Because there's a lot of circumstances or situations where, let's say the guy that she assumed was the strongest right away in the beginning, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 months into that relationship, she realized that he's not. A woman only knows who is the strongest option by constantly testing. So here's some things that she might do. She might try to pull back or to pull away from you. And you're going to be sitting there going, oh, but what's the reason? I didn't do anything. It doesn't matter. She just has to do these things. Maybe you didn't do anything that would have caused a decrease in interest. She still has to test. You have to understand this. She still has to test. Okay? She might try to start drama. Okay? She might just be silent for a couple days and not say anything. She might tell you that she's not really happy right now in the relationship, or she's not happy with your behavior, just to see if you'll bend and you're going to start to try and change your behavior, okay, to try to make her happier. Or number 5, she might even create feelings of doubt in your mind that she's losing interest. She might try to do any of these things, okay? But you might be wondering, if you read this or if you see this, you're like, well, what do I do? What do I do if this happens? You do nothing. You do absolutely nothing. You let the test just happen. You don't react to it. You don't try to change her mind or change her emotions. You pass the test by not giving in to these things. And then she goes, okay, he is who he says he is. And sometimes this test might last a while. This is what you have to understand. You pass most tests are passed strictly by understanding different elements of what people would call stoicism, okay? So that includes, like, if you actually say, hey, what does that mean? Okay, how would that actually look? There's a few things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk today about patience, we're going to talk about the power of silence, and we're going to talk about not being reactive. First and foremost, let me give you an example. When I say stoicism, that includes patience. Guys, this is so important. A man who's patient is a man who can pass tests. A man who is not patient feels the need to communicate all the time and reacts to everything. I can even see this with dudes. You know, even when dudes are text messaging back and forth to each other, some guys, they're just constantly reactive to no matter who is talking to them. They feel like no matter what, they have to respond right away, and everything is super urgent, and they don't have any patience to just let things play out. So, first and foremost, you have to understand the power of patience. Things do not need fixing right away like you think they do. There's no problem. There's only a problem if you tell yourself there's a problem. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. If you have a roof over your head and you have food in your fridge and you have a nice comfy bed to sleep on, there is no problem. You don't have a problem. I don't care how you feel based off that text message. I don't care how you feel based on your thoughts. Like, really? That's what you're going to give into every 2 hours? A new feeling? Oh, I'm mad about this. Now I'm sad about this. This is why she doesn't respect you. There's no patience. Things do not need fixing. You need to just let time go by. Time will just pass, and tomorrow the sun will come up and it'll be a great day. Sometimes her emotions look just like this. Sometimes she's happy, and then really happy, and then sad, and then mad at you, and then happy again, and sad again, and it's just up and down. Things just happen. Just let time go by. Number 2, the power of silence. You don't need to respond to everything. And I'm not just talking about with a cell phone either. Sometimes she might say something to you in real life, and you can think for a quick second or two, and you can be like, is this really even worth talking about? And it doesn't have to be. You can just like look away or not even say anything. If she says something to you and it's like, whatever, it's kind of like, I'm just going to go over here. You don't really need to do a whole lot. And then number 3 is not being reactive. So, guys who get into arguments with women fundamentally have lost not only their masculine frame, but they have really started to lose the core of what it is to be a man in the relationship that she can look up to and keep respecting. This is important to understand. So it's always best to appear almost oblivious to these tests. This is one thing that you're going to have to really start to internalize too. The highest level of game, like when you're interacting with women, is when you are so good at spotting these things, you're actually able to appear oblivious to all of her tests. And if you can get to a point where she's like, wow, I don't even really know if he notices any of these things, that's when you have won. Because it's like you have conquered your own emotions. Your emotions. That's why she desires to be with you. Is because you have conquered your own emotions. And you have become the type of man who doesn't feel the need to give in to everything for yourself. Very important to understand. Always best to appear oblivious to these tests. The more she likes you, the harder the tests get. So a lot of guys, you think, oh, the more she likes me, well, nice. That's good. Not so fast. The more she likes you, the more she really wants to be by your side, the more she needs to really make sure that you are who you say you are. Which means the testing isn't going to go away. You're still going to be tested. And then when you fail too many of the tests, she goes, that really sucks. Because she's going to go, I really wanted to be with him, but I just can't. I really liked him, but I just can't be with him. I really, really liked his personality. I really liked him, but I just don't respect him. And she's actually disappointed that you failed them too, because she really liked you. She's like, oh, I really liked this guy. I really wanted to be with him, but I just couldn't. And you're sitting there going, well, what does that even mean? This is what it means. What you have to understand is the more she likes you, the harder the tests get. What that means right here, this is going to be one of the most important statements on the whole marker board. Never underestimate how cruel the tests may appear on a surface level. So you might think, wow, it's really mean, or this isn't fair. Okay, on the surface level you might think it's that way, but you have to understand, okay, women have to do this. Okay, when it comes to female nature, it's just how God made the world, right? Like, this is just how things are. Okay, this is how women are in their nature, is naturally they just test. Okay, even the nicest, sweetest women do this. You might look at her and be like, wow, she's so beautiful, she's so nice, she's so sweet. She's still going to do this. And then what's funny is guys will find justifications or reasons why they're hoping this won't happen. They're going to make a lot of excuses and say, well, she's from a good, stable, 2-parent household. She goes to church Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. She believes in God. She owns a puppy. She has 2 puppies. She likes to make chocolate chip cookies with her mom. Not her. She won't do this. No. Yep, still her. She's still going to do all this. You'll always be tested. The more tests that you fail, the more she sees how invested you are about how she feels towards you, and now she desires to leave you. So once she loses desire and you fail too many tests, and she sees how emotional she could make you become, now she really desires to probably see you totally crushed. She now doesn't care if you're heartbroken. She doesn't care if you're sitting there thinking about her nonstop, all while she's probably sleeping with somebody else, and you might even know about this. And you're sitting there and you just feel terrible inside, but she doesn't care. This is what happens if you fail too many of these tests. So the whole point of this message today is to not fail these tests. I'm telling you right now, never fail these tests. Just don't do it. Don't fail them. But here's the thing. You only fail these because you don't see them. So when I tell you something like never fail these tests, you might be saying, well, how? How do I never fail them? How do I make sure? You never fail them by being smart enough to know that they happen and that they exist in the first place. Because your dad probably didn't teach you this. Your grandpa probably didn't teach you this. Nobody probably taught you this. So the reason why all of your relationships probably have failed is not because you're unattractive. It's not because you don't make enough money. It's not because you don't have enough followers on social media. It's not because you don't have a nicer car. It's not because you don't have a nicer house. It's purely because you don't understand the communication patterns that have to happen so she continues to want to be by your side. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. Join us inside of that community so I can help you to master, learn, understand the language of women, and we'll see you in the next one.